here to mark the beginning of Chinese Lunar New Year, which will come not too long from now. I want to just acknowledge as well the presence of some of the members of our Toronto Police Service here. They do a great job keeping us safe and supporting a lot of people. A lot of the work they do supports and helps people who are in trouble. And I just want to acknowledge the work that they do day in and day out. Tony, the last time we were together in person, and of course it was after a long time when we hadn't been together because of COVID, was for the summer festival that was mentioned a moment ago. And we worked one end of the street to the other. Tony showed me all the ropes, as it were. I'd been before, but I was most amazed, of course, and continue to be amazed, although I ate it, at the long lineups for the stinky tofu. I sort of was wondering why people would stand in that lineup with the fumes kind of wafting over them, but it tastes good when you eat it, and so we did have a good time that day, and you learn every time that you come. And isn't that part of what, the Lunar New Year is all about? Yes, of course, it is something that's traditionally been celebrated by members of our Asian and in particular Chinese Canadian communities, but it also has become, as many of these kinds of celebrations have, a cause for everybody to celebrate because we learn about each other's traditions, we learn about each other, we work together, we support each other, and it's one of the reasons why the Lunar New Year has not just become something big for the small businesses, big for individual residents of Chinese Canadian background, but big for the entire city, because I think we've come to understand the best way we're going to build the city together is to understand each other's traditions and backgrounds and so on, and I'm very proud that that happens here in this city. I want to acknowledge that the pandemic, which has been mentioned several times today by everybody, it took a terrible toll on a lot of people, a lot of individuals. I don't think we even yet have figured out the impact it took on children, for example, who were kept away from their friends and kept away from school for a long time. But it took a big toll on business, too. People just weren't able to go out and shop. People weren't downtown, where this Chinatown BIA is located. And there were just a lot of changes that meant a lot of harm and hurt for people in the small business community. And the Lunar New Year is just going to be one more occasion to try and bring that back. Everybody I ask, including the people here today, John, who represents so many of the small business communities, the BIAs in Toronto, everybody says we're back to kind of somewhere around 70 or 80%.